Oh man. Hi everyone. So this video is basically going to be a year update on my birth control implant. I really wanted to make this video when when I got my implant, like I wanted to like kind of like vlog the experience sort of, but I never really like did like updates per se. Like I know I did like one basically being like this is what happened, but I don't think I really updated since then. So I'm gonna sort of do that and just, I don't know, I feel like this will be helpful for people that are considering the implant because I feel like it's very, very up and coming and more people are getting it as the months go on and it gets more notoriety, I would say. So yeah. Basically, I got my implant put in on May 7th, 2017, and it's been a year since then. We're in May, and my life has been pretty good since then. I mean, it's been, like, it's had the side effects that people have said that I don't love, but it also has had the effects that work, that I do love. So basically the implant, what it does is, I don't really know like the whole scientific thing, I couldn't explain it as well as I maybe could have a year ago, but basically what it does is it releases hormones from the little rod. It's like a 1-inch long like plastic rod that's inserted into your arm. They numb the inside of your arm, they numb your arm, and basically they just like shoot the implant in, like they make an incision and they put it in and then it heals up because it's a really small scab. And it's a really, really quick procedure. It just takes a while to get to the procedure. It took me about 3 months to actually get it in. I had to make multiple appointments to meet with my doctor and then meet with another physician and then meet with another doctor who could do it. And it was like a lot of stuff. But once you get it, it's pretty good. But anyways, it releases hormones and you can have it for up to 3 years. So I'm 1/3 done with it. And I feel like I definitely will get it again unless in the next 2 years something wild happens. But I haven't had like a horror story yet. I see a lot of people sharing on Facebook like the horror stories of the implant, and I obviously can't speak on their experiences in comparison to my experience, but from what it looks like, a lot of those things, people are getting their implant inserted wrong, and I feel like when you are getting something, you really, really should know what you're doing. It shouldn't just be like, oh, this is a birth control that I want. Like, oh, it's the best form of birth control, I need to get it. Like, I really think you should research it. I researched this for months before deciding I was going to get it because I really wanted to make sure if it was the best option for me, if it was better than IUD for me, if it was better than pills. And I personally thought it was better. And from what it seems is those people didn't get inserted correctly. Maybe their doctor had just learned how to do it. There's a lot of things, but basically the doctor will be able to know if it like is moving, if it's possible to move around basically, because where they put in the incision, it should be in an area where it will be secure. And if your doctor doesn't put it in an area where it's going to be secure, it's going to start moving around and stuff. So, and then also I'm a big advocate in like just checking. Like you can feel it. Not many other people can feel it, but if you know where it is, you can feel it. And I definitely feel like once a week or even literally every day really quickly just check to see if it's moved, because then you're not gonna have like a really intense horror story where it moved and it got into your bloodstream and then your blood started bleeding and stuff, you know? Like I just feel like if you're really scared about like turning into one of those like horror stories, seriously, like just like check whenever you do get, if you do get it, because it's really simple to just touch and be like, oh, it's there, and then if it's not there, immediately go to the doctor, you know, instead of just not noticing for weeks. So that's my 2 cents on the sort of like horror story thing. But besides that, haven't gotten pregnant. I've engaged in intercourse many times since I've gotten it, and I'm doing great, so that's good. I feel like it's really, really good to have in college for certain situations, just in case, even if you don't plan on doing stuff. I never really planned on doing things in college anyways, and I haven't really, so it's not like I'm going out there. But if you do plan on it, I feel like getting birth control is great, and this is a really, really effective form of it. Or just having it just because being on birth control is really good and it can protect you from uncertain or unsafe or unexpected incidents that maybe the person you're with isn't prepared for, or maybe it's a situation you're not prepared for, you know. Then having birth control is really, really good, and this is a really, really effective form of it. But besides me sounding like I'm a nexplanon commercial, my experience in the year, so I haven't gotten pregnant. My side effects have been kind of wild. So there's this side effect basically where you get your period for a long fucking time, or you don't get it at all. So for the first 3 months, nothing, not a drop of blood came out of me. Which was good as hell, because I was like, fuck yeah, I'm not getting my period. I know people are like, oh, that's unhealthy, but it's like, it's not unhealthy if it's with your hormones, you know? Like, it's, if you know that that's a side effect, you know that's something that could be happening, then it's not unhealthy. It's only unhealthy if you're not on a form of birth control and you stop your period, you know? Like, it's cool. Like, I freaked out the first month where I didn't get my period, because for, like, 9 years my period has been consistent. I have been able to track it by the day, by the hour, for like 9 years. And so the first time that I missed my period, I was like, oh dear God, I'm pregnant. It failed me. Everything's awful. Even though I hadn't even like done anything in like that month. But it wasn't. It was just your period, or my period, stopped for a couple months. And then the shitty side effects came, and I basically, I'll look on my little tracking app. So actually it was only 2 months where I didn't have my period. And then from July all the way until January, that's about 6 months, 5 months, I had my period almost every single day. Almost every single day. It was pretty consistent with being every other week, so I don't want to say every single day, I guess. But from July to January, I would have my period, have a 5-day break in between, then have my period, 5-day break. So it would be like I guess like a week-ish, like about, it would be a week to like 9 days of my period, each little time. So that's about like, if we're doing like maximum like 18 days on my period a month, for 5 to 6 months, which was kind of terrible, but honestly it didn't bother me that much, because at the end of the day it's just your period, it's just blood, put a tampon in and fucking go, you know? It wasn't like I was like bleeding out of my arm, like spewing everywhere, and I couldn't control it. It was like something that like I know how to deal with. I've been dealing with it my whole life. Like, it wasn't a huge issue. It was just kind of annoying because, you know, like some days I was like, oh, I don't really want to be on my period, but it's there. The good thing though is that if you were going to do stuff, being on your period is an even more effective form of birth control than any birth control combined. I don't know any guy who wants to participate in period sex, so that's good. But other than that, like, it wasn't the worst. Like, you don't get any period symptoms, or at least I didn't get any period symptoms. I didn't get cramps. I didn't get like my emotions didn't go kind of like wild. Like on my period I get very, very, very emotional and tired, and like when I was on my period then, like, my emotions didn't go kind of crazy and I wasn't upset really. And like I said, I didn't have cramps, and I used to get like the worst cramps, like debilitating, like I couldn't go to class cramps when I had my period consistently, and those were gone. So basically, like, I was chilling, living my best life just with blood coming out of me. So that was a really shitty side effect. And then since then my period's been kind of consistent. Not really, it's not like super trackable, so I guess that would be considered inconsistent, but it's not as like wild as it was in those 5 months. Like, I don't get it every 2 weeks or whatever the thing was. I get it like normally like once a month now. It's just like I never know when I'm gonna get it, so there could be like a 2-week break in between, or like a 4-week break like a month. I just don't know. But again, that's not really a big deal to me, because whatever, like, it's my period, it's gonna happen. It's only slightly annoying since, again, I could be able to track my period to the day, and now I kind of have to like deal with an inconsistent period, but it is what it is. And then another weird side effect that happened is when I first started getting my month-long periods or whatever. In the very, very beginning, I was getting like brown blood basically, and this is really, really gross to explain, but I feel like this will be helpful for people who want to get this implant, because I read a lot of forums and like articles and stuff, and this is a really common side effect, and I remember it freaked me out. But it's like brown old blood basically that starts like turning into like mush almost. It like looks like a consistency of mud almost, and it's really, really gross, like really gross. And I remember in the very, very, very beginning, like that's what I was starting to get. I don't get it anymore, but I remember that was a thing that happened, and it really freaked me out because I thought that this was gonna be like it was like a really bad side effect, like I was needing to get it taken out, like I thought it was like something really unhealthy, but it's chilling, nothing too bad. So yeah, like that's kind of my year in review of having it. It hasn't like hurt or anything. I haven't like needed to get like taken out and re-put back in. It hasn't bruised, nothing crazy like that. It's literally just been like the normal side effects that they tell you about. And yeah, it's pretty good actually. I mean, like it does what it says it should do, and I haven't like had any like scares or anything, and yeah, so I'm still a big fan of this form of birth control. So if you're considering getting the nexplanon implant, I would highly, highly recommend. I often forget that I'm on birth control with this, which is really, really nice, because I know people who do pills and have the IUD, they're kind of reminded that they're on birth control because the IUD can hurt. Pills you have to take every day. With this, I really do forget that I'm on birth control. The only times I'm reminded is like if my period comes like really randomly and I'm like, dang it, nexplanon. But it's, again, it's not like a huge deal to me. It's just like, oh yeah. But I often forget that I'm on birth control, and I think that's really, really good to sort of have, like, I guess that kind of mindset of not knowing, that, of like not remembering almost, because when you're in like a very like hot, sexy situation, and like, I don't know, I just think it's good because it's like a subconscious thing. Like, I know I'm on birth control, and I know it's in the back of my mind, but like it's not like I'm not gonna be in a situation and be really, really stressed out about like, oh no, I forgot to take my birth control pill today, because it's like, I know, you know, like I don't, do you get what I'm saying? So, I don't know, I'm just a big, big advocate for it, and I think this year has been really good, and nothing too much to handle has happened. So if you are considering getting the birth control implant, I would 110% recommend it. And if you have any questions about it or anything, please leave in the comments below. I can only tell you from my experience, but do your research, look up articles, and those horror stories are like 1 in a million. But yeah, that's my recap of my 1 year with the nexplanon birth control implant. I know no one really asked for this video, but I really felt like it was something I wanted to share and educate people on. So remember to like and subscribe, it helps me out, and comment below if you have any questions or if there are any other kind of videos you want to see related to this topic, or just any other videos in general. And I will see you guys later.